Hello, everyone, and welcome to Trampoline and Tumbling's HUGS program presentation. We are excited to include HUGS in the Trampoline and Tumbling program, and this is just a short webinar to help you understand about HUGS if you are interested in including HUGS in your program as a coach, or if you are a judge that is interested in learning and judging the HUGS athletes at competitions. Of course, the HUGS program was designed for children and competition for athletes with special needs. We are very excited to add this program to our disciplines. Participated at the Stars and Stripes nationally for the very first time this year, and it was very well received. So we're just going to kind of go through the program as a whole. Of what to expect and how your athlete will be judged if you're a coach, and of course if you're a judge, what you'll be looking for on the field to play. So first things first, athletes are split into age groups. We have, of course, very different looking age groups than what you are used to in the JO program. Those age groups are going to be 6 and under, 7 to 11, 12 to 15, 16 to 21, 22 to 29, and 30 plus. Now, if you do have athletes that are the only one in their age group, you can definitely request from the meet director, if you're a coach, that you combine those age groups so that those athletes have competition amongst themselves, and that's perfectly appropriate. Just remembering that how that athlete finishes within the new age group would be their final result. The next one is going to be competition cards. Coaches, you will be responsible for filling out a competition card. This just kind of helps our judging panel know what to expect from your athlete. Those do need to be turned in to the chair of the panel prior to your flight warm-up, and they are required on all events for all levels within the HUGS program. Of course, our goal for the athlete is that they perform the elements in the order that they're written on the competition card. And if they do, then they're going to receive what we are calling a difficulty bonus. All right, so let's get into the disciplines and let's talk a little bit how each discipline is going to be judged and what your athlete would be required to do. So, of course, we're going to have some special exceptions for the HUGS program, and one of those is that we do understand that many of these athletes are visually impaired, or they may need their coach to be right there to help them in the performance of their routine with maybe visual or auditory clues. So we are going to allow those coaches on trampoline to be up on the end deck. Now, we do ask that you not be actually on the trampoline bed because, again, we want to make sure that these athletes compete in a safe environment as well. But we will not be taking any deductions for coach's assistant if that coach is up on the end deck. So starting with level 1, now we have 3 levels in each one of the disciplines. So for level 1 trampoline, some of the general things that you'll need to know is that athlete's going to do a 5-element routine. Straight jumps, we don't judge. They may jump them in between skills, before, after, but the judges are not going to pay any attention to the jumps because we understand that they may need those jumps in order to perform the elements that they are actually required to do. Something else is that matting aids are allowed on trampoline in levels 1, so if the coach needs to put in a push mat for an athlete to go to their belly, or if they need from transition from one skill to the other, that will be okay, and there's not going to be a deduction or an interruption for that. Now, we are looking at normal landing deductions, so we do still want that athlete to show stability for approximately 3 seconds after the routine is over, and we are not interrupting for anything at this level. So what the judges are going to do is they're going to score that routine out of 10 full points, and then of course the athlete may have unlimited straight jumps in between each of the elements with no interruption and with no deduction. So here is the element list for level 1. So what we're looking for is an athlete that can perform these skills. Now, if they want to repeat the skills, they can. But if they were to do all 5 of these skills at level 1, then they're going to get what we're calling a difficulty bonus. So we're going to have 4 judges total in trampoline. 2 of them are going to throw an execution score, and it's just like we would do at the JO levels. They start with a perfect 10, and then they take deductions based on what's in our rules. So the maximum deduction per element is 5/10 of a point. So this athlete would have the potential to score 20 points total for what's considered their E-score. Now, what's going to look a little bit different for the HUGS division, something that we're going to do differently for these levels, is we're going to award bonuses that are considered difficulty for things that might be a little more difficult for a HUGS athlete. For example, if they are able to perform consecutive elements. So in a trampoline routine, if they were able to do 2 elements with no jumps in between, they would get a bonus of 0.1. And so on up through 5. The maximum consecutive element bonus for trampoline is going to be 4 points. Another bonus is if they perform different elements. So let's say you have an athlete that does 5 different elements in their 5-skill routine. They did it with no straight jumps in between. So they're going to get the consecutive element bonus plus the different element bonus. Those are added together. And if they did it exactly the way it was written on the competition card, then those 3 bonuses are going to be added together. And that is what will be considered their difficulty score. So you're going to have to change the mentality just a little bit of what you see in the JO program, but it still kind of has the same concept. So your maximum E-score is going to be 20 points. And then, of course, your maximum D-score or your difficulty score is going to be 9 full points. So we'll add those together. We'll take away any penalties that are applied. And then, of course, that will equal your total score. Now, in the HUGS division, we don't have a tiebreaker rule. So if there are ties, then the athletes will tie on the award stand. Next level is level 2. Each athlete in all the levels in HUGS gets 2-touch warm-up. So again, the athletes here are going to get a 2-touch before their routine. This one is a 10-element routine, and again, we're looking for the first 10 elements we see. So again, the straight jumps that are performed in between are not going to be judged. Again, normal landing deductions and no deduction for coach's assistant, so that coach can still be up on that index. The routine is scored out of 10, and again, the unlimited straight jumps are not going to cause an interruption. Now, here's our element list for level 2. You'll notice there's a few more actual skills that they can choose from. Again, they can be creative. They can, of course, repeat things that are on the element list, but they are also allowed to perform each one of the skills as well. Your panel is going to look exactly the same, and you see some repetitive information here. We're going to have 4 judges, 2 execution judges. Again, we're using the same JO rules, and again, the same total. What is consistent throughout the program and throughout the disciplines is that your consecutive element bonus and your different element bonus are always going to be the same on all disciplines. So if you are judging, that is something that is the same all the way across the board. So again, your different element bonus and your routine performance bonus. So that one's going to be that you perform the skills as written on the competition card. Then the score calculation is exactly the same as we had at level 1. Again, with the the maximums for both the E-score and the D-score and how the total score is achieved. And then we get into level 3, which is going to be kind of a transition in between the HUGS program and the JO program. So athletes are allowed to do a little bit more than they are at the levels before, and the expectation is now just a little bit more. So the judges are going to judge the first 10 elements that they see, but now no matting aids are allowed to be used at this level. The routine can be interrupted. So if the athlete says, for example, they land on 1 foot on the trampoline, that is cause for an interruption of the routine, and it would interrupt the athlete. We also still take the normal landing deductions, and now normal coach's assistant deductions would apply as well. So if the coach has to talk to the athlete, that's where we would take the normal deductions that would apply according to our JO rules. Now this 10 element pass, they are only allowed to do one straight jump in between each element with no interruption. So if they did more than that, then what the chair of the judges panel would do is they would interrupt the routine. We would take it out of the appropriate number of skills. Now you see a rather long list of things that they can do at level 3 in the element list. So coaches are able to choose skills that the athlete can perform well and perform safely. Your judging panel looks exactly the same. You still have your 2 E judges. You also have a judge that's going to take care of that consecutive element bonus, your different element bonus. And now you'll notice not only do you have the routine performance bonus of 2.0, but you also have a bonus for the athlete that can perform rotation of 360 degrees. Now that rotation is going to be somersault rotation. And if they are able to do a feet-to-feet rotation, then they will get a bonus there as well. Again, all the bonuses are added together. So now you notice that your maximum D score has bumped up to 11 points. So that athlete does have the potential, if they were to do all of those things, for that difficulty score to be 11 points. In tumbling, it's very similar to what we saw in trampoline. The coaches have to submit the comp card. If they get a bonus if they do the skills or the elements in order that they're written on the competition card. And now the coach is allowed to stand up on the tumbling floor for athletes who need visual or auditory clues in order to help them perform their routine. So for level 1, same thing on tumbling. We have a 2-touch warm-up. Coaches are allowed to use a panel mat without deduction. So if the athlete needs to use the panel mat in order to do a cartwheel, or if they need it to do a back roll, they are able to do that, or a front roll. Whatever the coach has been doing in the gym, they're allowed to use that mat as well. We do not interrupt at level 1 in tumbling as well, and we are going to apply those normal landing deductions. Again, the routine is scored out of 10, so it's very similar for you tumbling judges. You getting used to adding back the free points for passes that don't have 10 skills in it. So the thought process is still the same as JO. This is our element list for the coaches to choose from. Of course, what we're looking for are skills that are performed in consecutive rhythm, so we don't want to see any major pauses or breaks. So unlike trampoline, where we have the straight jump to look at in between, what we're looking here is for elements that are performed with 2 or less steps or that don't have a pause in between. Those would be considered consecutive elements. Again, those would be added to the different element bonus and the bonus for performing the routine as written, and that would all be added. Now our E-score now is 30 points, so just like the JO levels, we have 3 E-scores now, and our maximum D score or difficulty score is 9 full points. Again, we'll add the E-scores to the D score, take away the penalties, and that will be the total score. Ties again are not broken. Level 2, use of the panel mat is still permitted, but now it's going to get a chair of the judges panel penalty. We also are allowing a safety spot with no deduction. Now, a safety spot means that the coach did not assist with the skill, but was just there just in case. So the athlete did not depend on the coach to help them over. That would be one that would not get a deduction. And then no interruptions of the routine at this level, and again, normal landing deductions. An 8-element pass is scored out of 10 points. And for level 2, you see that the list is a little bit more as far as choices are, and that there are also some things that are a little bit more difficult. Our panel looks the same. We have the 3 E judges. The bonuses are the same as well. And the performance bonus for performing the skills in the order that are written is the same. And of course, the score calculation is the same as well. Okay, again, just like in trampoline, the level 3 tumbling gets a little bit more difficult. The panel mat is permitted, but will incur a 1.0 penalty as well. Normal spotting deductions apply now, so if a coach has to spot an athlete, the routine would be interrupted and normal landing deductions will be applied as well. Again, that safety spot that we talked about at level 2, we're ensuring the safety of the athlete, not aiding the athlete with the performance. Elements that are spotted at this level will result in an interruption of the routine. Okay, so we're going to see something that's a little bit different here as far as our element list is concerned. Now, you notice that we had requirements on how many skills that we had to do at this level. We noticed that we had the skills as before, but if you'll look down at the bottom of that list, now you have the choice of doing round-off back handspring. So the round-off back handspring actually can replace the requirements as far as skill numbers are concerned at this level, and that would still be scored out of 10 points. So panel looks the same. The bonuses for consecutive elements are the same. The difficulty bonus now, if you'll notice, is a little bit different. You have more bonuses here that you're able to do. If the athlete chooses to do the round-off back handspring pass instead of the full element pass, they get a 3-point bonus. If they do that with a light spot, it would be considered 2.0. And then, of course, if it's spotted where they assisted, it would be an interruption. Again, the performance bonus, so they performed it as written on the competition card. That's 2.0, and it is added into the total bonus. And now our total difficulty bonus would be 9 points. And those are, again, calculated the same as the other levels. Double Mini is new to the HUGS division this year. We are adding Double Mini this year. This will be the pilot year for Double Mini. So we'll see how it goes and whether or not we need to make changes next year into the rules and what the expectations are. Straight jumps, of course, are allowed on Double Mini. Starting at level 1, we're going to do the same thing with the warm-up. We have a 2-touch warm-up. The athletes may include unlimited straight jumps, just like level 1 trampoline. And there is no interruptions of the routine. The athlete is required to use an incline at level 1 in order to mount the Double Mini. We are requiring straight jumps as well prior to the spotter element. So this particular level is going to do one skill, and then they're going to do a straight jump dismount. They may stop while they're on the Double Mini with no penalty. They may stop before they jump off with no penalty as well. What we are allowing here is that the coach may assist with the dismount, so they can hold the athlete's hand, hold them by the waist, whichever they see fit, in order to help them off of the Double Mini. And of course, no interruptions at this level. So they're going to do 2 passes at level 1, and each pass will consist of 1 element, but we are still scoring it out of 10 points. If they were to perform different elements in pass 1 and pass 2, they will get that difficulty bonus. And of course, they can have straight jumps within the pass with no deductions. So our element list for this level for them to choose from is tuck jump, pike jump, straddle jump, and then of course, straight jump dismount is going to be required at this level. Our judging panel looks the same as tumbling, so we'll have 3 execution judges taking the same deductions that are in our JO code of points for flaws within the skills. So that maximum E score is 30 points. And then our element bonus for level 1 is if they are able to do a running mount to the Double Mini, of course, with that incline, they get a 1.0. And if they were to perform 2 different elements, so 1 in pass 1 and 1 in pass 2, they would get a 1.0. So the maximum difficulty score for this athlete would be a 2.0. Then if we were to, if they did it exactly as written on the comp card, that would be 2 points as well. So the maximum D score total for level 1 would be 4 points, plus your E score minus any penalties. HUGS for level 2 Double Mini. The athlete can still include as many straight jumps as needed with no interruption. They are required to run, and the incline is allowed. So there's no deduction for it, but they are also allowed to mount a Double Mini without it. Again, normal coach's assistance deductions would apply. So if the coach has to tell the athlete what to do, anything like that, we would take those deductions, and then normal landing deductions as well. The first spotter element may not be a straight jump. So we are requiring a skill on the spotter bed. They can do the straight jumps in order to get to the spotter bed. And again, the coach may assist with the dismount element with no penalty. The other coach's assistants, things would be the coaching cues that would take the deductions in this level. And then again, no interruptions. So now we're going to do 2 passes. Each of them have 2 elements and we're scored out of 10. What we're looking for is no repeats from pass 1 to pass 2. So again, just like JO double mini, they could do a tuck jump spotter and a tuck jump dismount. That would be considered 2 different skills. So they would get that difficulty bonus if they were to perform different elements. The dismount may be a straight jump, so that will be considered a skill at this level. And we are requiring a run at level 2. So the element list: tuck jump, pike jump, straddle jump. Again, you see I have turn spotter here. So no twisting on the dismount at level 2, and then a straight jump. So they may do tuck jump dismount, pike jump dismount, straddle jump dismount, or a straight jump dismount, and it would be considered valid. The panel looks the same, taking the same deductions. Our bonuses for this one, the consecutive element bonus is going to be 1 point, because of course 2 skills is all that you can do in a double mini routine. If they do 2 different elements in the same pass, they get a 1.0. If they do different elements in pass 1 and pass 2, a 1.0. And now we're going to reward them for doing a 2-foot mount or a hurdle from the floor. Those bonuses are pretty major, so 2.0 for both of those. And then your performance bonus, again, for performing skills is written on the competition card, 2.0. All of the bonuses are added together, so the maximum bonus for this level would be 9 points, added to the E-score, and then appropriate penalties taken. Again, our level 3 is going to be kind of a transition between HUGS and our JO levels. They are required to run at level 3. They may still include unlimited straight jumps because each element on the double mini goes to and from such different places that we wanted to allow them to do those straight jumps with no interruption at all levels on double mini. Again, the incline is allowed. There is no deduction for that, but they do get a bonus for being able to jump on without it. Spotter elements, again, cannot be a straight jump, and we want to see those passes performed as written. We also allow mounter passes at level 3, so they may perform a skill from the first bed to the second bed on the double mini, and then our normal coaches, assistants, and landing deduction penalties and deductions will apply. We're going to do 2 passes at level 3. Each of these have 2 elements as well, and we're going to score out of 10. We prefer, again, to see no repeats between pass 1 and pass 2, and they will get a bonus if they're able to do that. And again, straight jumps are allowed as dismount skills, and we are requiring a run. So a little bit longer list here. Tuck, pike, and straddle. We still have that half turn spotter, but we've added a front somersault now. Panel's going to look the same with your 4 judges, 3E, and then your chair of the judges panel or your bonus difficulty judge. The bonuses include the consecutive element bonus, which is 1.0. 2 different elements in the same pass, 1.0. Different elements in pass 1 and pass 2 gets a 1.0. And now you've noticed not only do we have the 2-foot mount and the hurdle mount bonus, but we also have the 360-degree somersault rotation bonus. So that one gets 2.0 as well. So if the athlete was to do the consecutive skills, the difficulty bonus, and the performance routine bonus, they could, again, achieve a possible 11 full points in difficulty score. Everything is added together, penalties are taken, and again, no ties are broken. So scoring is pretty persistent between all the 3 disciplines and between the levels. Hopefully this will help the judges to be able to judge a little bit more consistently. We realized our first year was kind of difficult. We weren't quite as specific as we needed to be. So we are working to make sure that that doesn't happen moving forward. Now, we also are going to require the HUGS athletes a requirement to qualify to go to Stars and Stripes Championships, and that is simply that they must attend 1 USA Gymnastics sanctioned competition prior to Stars and Stripes in order to attend. So no qualifying score, no pre-eligibility requirements, just that they have been to 1 sanctioned event prior to Stars and Stripes. Of course, what you're going to do as far as your rules is concerned is you're going to be able to download the HUGS Code of Points. And then if you'll use that in conjunction with your JO Code of Points, the HUGS exceptions will be listed in the HUGS Code of Points. And anything that you cannot find there, you would refer to our regular JO Code of Points. Like I said, we included this in our Stars and Stripes this year, and it was definitely something that was fun to watch. It was very well received, and I think that HUGS athletes had a great time. If you are a meet director and want to include HUGS in your program, check out the website. We'll have a meet director's guide for you up very soon. And we look forward to seeing HUGS at as many competitions as we possibly can this year. And if you are a judge or a spectator, a coach that doesn't have the program in your gym, get ready for an experience that will definitely warm your heart, because it's fun to watch these athletes do their thing. We appreciate all those who've given their time to the HUGS program up to this point. And we look forward to increasing the numbers in our HUGS program and growing it where it is something that we see at many competitions throughout the year. Good luck to the HUGS coaches and especially to the HUGS athletes, and we look forward to seeing you on the competition floor.